Hello, welcome back to Dry Creek Beekeeping. So today I'm going to be taking a look at the Alpha Hive and the Beta Hive. 2 weeks ago I put some new honey supers on those hives, and I'm really excited to see how they're doing. We're still in a honey flow from what it seems like. There's lots of flowers out. Maybe it's calmed down just a little bit, but we still got those flowers there, and I'm expecting good things. If neither of the honey supers have been filled at all, I am probably going to remove the honey super that they've already filled in the Alpha Hive to make sure they don't start taking from that. But without any further ado, let's get to looking at these hives. All right, taking a look here at the Alpha Hive first. This has 2 honey supers on it right now. And, ooh, that's a lot of bees up there. That's promising. So, I put this honey super on 2 weeks ago. Looking at these frames, I don't think they filled up a single one of them. They haven't even built any comb on it. Yeah. Just empty plastic foundation. I will go ahead and set this empty honey super off to the side for now and take a look at the lower one. Looks like they have a lot of comb built on the top of this. All right, so looking down in these frames here in the lower honey super, this is looking really good. Of course, I am just gonna verify quick. If every single one of these frames here is totally built out, capped, and just full of honey, I am going to remove this honey super, because at that point I can't really think of any reason why they would need to have it on still. Oh wow, would you look at that. This is the outermost frame and it is full of honey. Again, this is just this is incredible. This is like literally perfect. Exactly what I want to see with these frames. All of the comb is flush with the wood. It is all capped. Every single cell is filled with honey. It is a beautiful golden honey. I can tell in the light here. And if I had to guess, this is probably wildflower honey for the most part, which means it is going to be a very light flavor, and that's going to taste really good. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a quick look. There's a bit of comb right here, and I'm actually going to do a taste test of that, I think. Oh yeah, that is definitely wildflower honey. Man, that is delicious. Holy cow. It definitely has a light flavor. And also the color of that honey. I don't know if the camera picked it up as I scraped it, but that is so light. It might be one of the lightest colors of honey that I have ever harvested. Yes, here's some of the weird stuff that I was talking about. Can you see that down there? That's some drone brood. Great. Also, you can get a better look at the color of the honey here. Very nice. But, drone brood. Not great. It's removable. That's the good part. It's not actually like very well into the frame, and they got a good gap around where that is. So it's not a huge deal. It doesn't affect the amount of honey that I'm gonna get by very much. So I'm kind of just gonna leave that there and remove these frames anyway. If a little bit of drone brood dies, that's not a big deal by any means. I'm gonna take a look at the main brood box of this hive, and then I will work on doing the stuff to actually remove this honey super. All right, let's see what we got here. My guess is there is going to be a lot of honey here and not much else. It's starting to get later in the year, and I think they're starting to focus on winter preparations. Days are getting shorter, so this frame here, the outermost frame, is almost entirely pollen stores, which is insane. The comb on this frame is so dark brown that it's almost black. This is a very, very old frame. In fact, this is one of the original frames, and I can tell because of the shape of the corner here. This is one of the original frames that I had back in 2019. So you can really tell how dark that comb is because it's been here since 2019. Oh, here's a lot of brood. I thought they would have been pretty much done with brood in this upper box by now, but no, look at that. That is a full frame of brood. Although the other side of the frame has nothing. Maybe a little bit of drone brood up in that corner, but other than that. Okay, so my camera just overheated and I lost all the video of me looking at these frames, or at least most of it. I'm not sure when it started to overheat. But anyway, in order to remove that honey super, what I'm going to do is as follows. So first, I'm going to take the empty honey super and set it on top of the brood box. Then I'm going to take the inner cover, set that on top of that. First, though, to get all the bees off, I'm going to do this. And that does a decent enough job at getting them all off. Then I'm going to take this. It's a one-way entrance for bees, so they can only go down through it. And I'm just going to set that right there. So that way, the bees in the full honey super can go down into this box, but not back up into it. So that way, when I come back later, there will be no bees in that honey super. So it's really easy to take off. Now, on the honey super here, we got a lot of comb on the bottom of these frames. I'm going to remove that. So that way it can sit really nicely on the inner cover there. And there we go. Now that this is all cleaned off, I'm going to go set that back on the hive. This is very heavy. All right, and now there is one last thing that we have to do, because on this hive, right here, you can see there's a little gap there for ventilation. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of wax and plug that up so no bees can get in or out through that hole. And there we go. Now we are done with the alpha hive and we're moving on to the beta hive. So I put a honey super on this hive as well, but I'm not super confident that they actually did anything with it, just because this hive has a fairly low population because it did some stupid stuff earlier in the year. Yeah, just as I expected. We got nothing. That's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. If I had split this hive earlier in the year, I'm sure we would have had honey, but I made a stupid mistake and this is what I get for it. As for this deep super here, it looks like they've been filling up that with honey at least. Unfortunately, it looks just about the exact same that it did 2 weeks ago for these outer frames anyway. So I'm kind of just gonna skip all those outer frames and move straight to the inner frames. I don't really have much that I need to look at with this hive. Yeah, they got brood, they got eggs. I think they're doing fine. I think the reason why they aren't doing anything with the honey super is because as we get later into the year here, their focus is to survive the winter. So what they've been doing is just replacing brood with honey because they don't want to build out any more comb. Which, you know, that's kind of annoying, but they're focusing on survival, and that's really what's important. At this point, it's late enough in the year that I think I'm just going to take the honey super off. I really doubt that they're actually going to do anything with it. So, that's that then. Closing up this hive. Alright, so to recap what happened in this video, this hive here, the alpha hive, is doing great. They made one full honey super worth of honey. It is all capped. It is beautiful. That's going to make a lot of honey at the end of this year. Can't wait. Otherwise, they haven't filled up that second honey super, but since I'm removing this honey super here, the one that they already filled, maybe they'll start focusing on this one and I can get a little bit more honey. But honestly, at this point, I kind of doubt it. The rest of this hive is doing very well. They have lots of brood, lots of stores. They are looking very good and they're starting to prepare for winter. Now the beta hive over here, it's not doing as well. They kind of have a low population from the queen not laying eggs through most of the summer, and that has kind of caused very slow progress. They have both of their deep supers filled, but it looks like they just don't have enough there to start working on that honey super, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. It just kind of sucks. But anyway, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.